Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Nancy Joseph, aka The Dynamic Doc. Welcome back to my channel. So I hope everyone is maintaining their mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health throughout this rough, unprecedented year. Throughout 2020, we have lost and continue to lose numerous icons in our society in the midst of dealing with two public health crises, COVID-19 pandemic and racism. So it's really a rough time, and I'm hoping that everyone is taking the time necessary to keep yourself healthy. Whatever it is, whether rest or whatever you need to help you obtain or maintain that health is very, very important. To get through these rough times. We're in this together, and we're taking things one day at a time. Also, please make sure you register to vote. Your voice count, your vote count, and you want to make sure that come November 2020 that you're ready to make your voice heard, so that we can evoke the necessary changes in this country. So please make sure to register to vote so you can rock that vote. So with this video, we'll pick up where we left off in the last video. I'll link the last video down below so you can go ahead and check that out if you haven't had a chance to do so. So this video, I'll focus on fellowship interviews and match. So by now, hopefully you would have saved financially so that you can take advantage of all of the interviews offered to you. And so the first things first, the interviews, the fellowship is very similar to the interviews for residency in terms of general principles. First, you want to make sure that anything you put on your application, you can talk about. You don't want to put anything that you kind of were sort of involved in, but can't, you can't expand on it when they ask you more, when or if they ask you for more information. So that's that. Number two, you want to make sure that you have a good panel of questions that in general encompasses things that are important to you, that you want to ask all of the programs, because when it comes down to it at the end of your interview process, and at the end of your interview trail, you want to be able to compare apples to apples. So, put together things, things that are important to you, and make sure you put together questions that will help you figure out which program is best for you. So then also you want to make sure that you have questions that are specific to those programs, because certain programs may be known for certain things. Maybe there's certain things about their curriculum you want to get clarification on. Maybe the way that they do things a little bit different, or the way their percentage of inpatient to outpatient rotations, or just in general their curriculum. You want to have a general idea on that and their requirements and things like that. Like, for example, my program, we were required to publish papers. And so you may have certain things that are required of just the various programs that you're interviewing in, and you want to make sure to ask for clarification questions if you need. So that's that. Also, you want to make sure you look up your interviewers. Yeah, oftentimes they'll let you know who your interviewers are going to be. And you want to at least have looked them up in such a way where okay, this person is big in this type of research, or if that person has been involved in groundbreaking research. In fact, if the institution has been involved in a groundbreaking research or discovery, you want to make sure that. So that way, maybe you can even reference it, and maybe it's something that is relevant to what you want to do, and you can kind of reference that in your interview as kind of a way to show that, hey, I picked this program intentionally, and I feel like I fit in here because, this, and this. But if you don't really know too much about the program, and you just kind of picked it because it was in this, maybe the state you want to be in, it may, that will come across. So you want to know something about that program, something about your interviewers. And of course, have a good strategy to convey, or at least to get the information you need about the things that are important to you so that you can make an informed decision at the end of your interview trail. So then that leads me to just kind of the process and leading to the match. So first of all, you go through the interview process. You want to make sure you put your best foot forward. You want to make sure that you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. So you want to make sure you you stay focused and you gain the information you need to gain. And then at the end of it all, there's a match process very similar to residency. So you want to make sure you have the information you need to rank those programs in order of your preference. Don't try to rank them in the order of which you think they like you, because you may have misinterpreted that. So you want to rank them in order of this is really a program that, your top program should be a program that fits with what you want in terms of training, in terms of your career, in terms of maybe your style of learning, and then maybe their values. You want them similar to what you value. And so you want to, that's how you want to rank your programs. And so I should also note, at least when I interviewed for fellowship, there were some programs that were offering candidates position outside of the match. So what that means is, you're on your interview trail, you've interviewed at that program, and they call you up and say, hey, we'd like to offer you a position. So that's outside the match. That means at that time, you may not have even finished interviewing in the other institutions that's offered you an interview. And so now you got to make the decision. I mean, if you really like that program, great. You can go ahead and accept that offer and then pull out of the interview trail. You cancel your interviews in these other places that you hadn't gone so that they can offer that, that opportunity to others. And then the good news is you save money because you don't have to travel to all these other places that you're going to interview. And then in general, you don't have to be stressed out about am I going to match? Am I not going to match? Because you've already accepted a position outside the match. So so that was a possibility, at least when I interviewed for fellowship. So I don't know if that's still an opportunity now, or if there's not really any programs doing that. So really, so you'd have to kind of see based on what you want to subspecialize in. So in general, of course, if you go through the match process, it's very similar to residency. You put your your rank list in order, you lock that in, and then programs do the same. And then match day, the match day for fellowships, a very different time and usually much earlier than a match day for residencies. And then, when match day comes, you see whether you matched. If not, there's typically a process you go through just to be able to, get into a fellowship program outside of the official match, and to try to get yourself a good opportunity to get into the subspecialty that you want. So in general, that's the process. Very similar to residency, except now you're even more subspecialized in what you want to do. And then from now, you have kind of two objectives. Number one, you need to make sure that you complete all the requirements so that you can graduate residency so you can go to fellowship. And second, you want to make sure that now you do the paperwork necessary, for the onboarding process of fellowship, and also the logistics, moving and all that stuff. So to that end, stay tuned for the next video where I'll get into more detail about the transitioning process from, finishing residency into transitioning into fellowship. So stay tuned for the next video where I'll get into more detail about that. In the meantime, please check out my previous videos, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Be blessed, stay tuned, and please, please register to vote so you can make your voice heard. And also please stay healthy, be well, be blessed. Peace.